Hey, beautiful souls. Happy Thursday. Happy Purify Thursday. I thought I should jump in and explain what today is all about. We're going to have hashtags. They're all in the announcements post. Go and check in there what the themes are today. Today is Purify Thursday. And purification is one of the most sacred and devotional practices that we can all be engaging in on a daily basis, on a moment to moment basis, on a day to day, on a monthly, on an annual, on a forever basis, really. Um, and as space holders, unless we are purifying ourselves, we are unable to hold space for others to the most integrous capacity. We can't take anyone past where we're at. So if we're sitting in our toxic thoughts and our toxic physicality and our toxic environment, then we're not able to hold space for others with the most potent capacity. So, in order to be epic space holders, in order to up level your capacity to hold space for yourself, for your family, for your clients, we need to be committed to walking our talk. We need to be committed to purifying our mind body in order to connect to our soul. So, there are many levels, there are many aspects that you can approach on a purification journey. And we're going to cover them all in this group. We're going to talk about them all. We're going to address them all. We're going to remind each other to continue on that purification journey. So, um, if we talk about the mind, purification of the mind is one of the most devotional practices that we can do. So, purification of the mind is all about mindfulness. It's all about observing the fearful thoughts and detaching ourselves from the toxic, fearful thoughts that we have, detaching ourselves from our ego so that we can connect more in with the purity of the truth of who we are, which is our loving self, which is our light self, which is our loving thoughts. All fearful thoughts about the future and or the past are an illusion. They're not real. They're the ego. They're the temptation. They're the 3D heaviness that keeps us stuck and solid and toxic, and unable to ascend and raise our vibration. We can't raise our vibration and ascend unless we are more pure, unless we are more light, unless we are more, there is more space between our physicality and our fearful thoughts. So purification is one of the, well, it's the most divinely devotional practice that we can ever engage in. If you're here, I can see there's a couple of people on. Please say hello in the chat box and let me know you're here. Let me know about your journey on with purification and what sort of things you do to purify your mind, body, and in order to connect to your soul and your deeper purpose. There's a fear pandemic on the planet at the moment, and I really believe that the only way out is a spiritual awakening. The absolute only way out of what is happening, of what is coming, is a spiritual awakening. And we cannot awaken unless we are acting and have the intention to purify. That's part of our awakening. It's part of our ascension. We need to be finding the space between ourselves, the space between our thoughts, so that we can vibrate, literally vibrate at a much higher rate because we've reduced our toxic load. So when we hold space for others, we actually have to purify, if you like, the space that we hold. The only way we can purify the space that we hold is to purify the space holder. Yeah. When we sit at a high vibration and we hold space for others, the client has the opportunity to meet us in that vibration for that time that we are together. And that's what holding space really is all about. Holding space is beyond the modalities, beyond the tapping and the counseling and the Reiki and the NLP and the nutrition and the coaching. It's beyond that. That's not actually the medicine. The medicine is the way that you hold space. When you are vibrating at a higher rate, when you hold that vibration with your client, when you see them through the eyes of God, when you see them with unconditional love, when you hold them in unconditional love, that's the healing. That's the transformation, because when they feel that, when they feel themselves um, being loved unconditionally, not judged, accepted, witnessed, honored, heard, that's the medicine, because they get to experience that for themselves. But we cannot do that when we still sit in judgment of ourselves and others, when the inner critic is still running the show, when our body is full of toxic load, when our mind is full of toxic load. We're just a cloud of toxic bleh, and there are veils between us and our client. So how can we hold space? How can we literally vibrate at a high rate, hold space, and increase the healing potential for our clients when we're full of toxins? Is it possible? No, I don't think so. So we really need to be clearing our own blocks, our own fears, our own toxic behaviors, actions, words, beliefs, conditionings, traumas. It's all this ongoing spiritual work on the spiral of ascension. So there are many aspects that we can be addressing as far as purification goes. And things such as our house, the clutter around us. I am literally throwing everything out of my house at the moment. Anything that doesn't serve a higher purpose is going. It's going to go. Like, I look at it and I go, higher purpose, love. Am I in love with it? Does it bring me joy and light? Nah, gone. Donated, given away to someone else that needs it way more than I do. Purifying our relationships to ourselves, our relationships to others, the friendships in our life, the toxic friendships that we've had for years that we're afraid to let go of. We've got to let them go, because they are holding us down. Like, they've got these cords, these energies that are keeping us in this heavy realm that we're not allowed to ascend. Our relationship with our partners, we need to be purifying that. It's no longer an excuse. It's no longer acceptable to be simply sitting in the shit, not doing the work anymore. It's simply not acceptable to having the intention to make your relationships better, more loving, more sacred, more honoring. Our relationships to ourselves, like, got to be number one. Relationship to God, got to be number one, which is relationship to self. And unless we are purifying the blocks that are stopping us from communing and praying and listening and hearing our intuition and divine wisdom to flow through us, we ain't having a spiritual awakening. Unless you are purifying your vessel to allow God's wisdom to flow through you, we ain't having a spiritual awakening. So it's all very intentional. And what I'm hoping and inviting everyone to do is to start to bring this particular intention into your daily devotional practices on a Thursday. Let's just think about, on a Thursday, every single Thursday, what am I purifying today? Which aspect of my life am I going to approach? Which aspect of my life am I going to release from, so that I can raise up out of the darkness, out of the trauma? Purifying our gardens, like bringing in beautiful food and getting rid of the weeds, and nurturing and having a connection with our food again. Like, we're all going to actually need to do that real soon. I shaved my head a while ago. I really felt like that was the most incredible purification process, one of them that I've ever gone through. Every single memory and thought and trauma and experience, I mean, my hair was down to here. It was probably like, 6 years worth of crap and trauma. Purified it, shaved it off, started again with a new higher vibration. It feels freaking amazing. And not that everyone has to shave their head. I do highly recommend it at least once in your life. It was a bucket list for me. Incredible. Purifying our food. What are you putting into your bodies? Like, literally, what are you putting into your bodies? Is it the purest, most nutritious, most highly aligned food and fuel source that you can put into your temple? It is no longer an excuse. It's no longer acceptable to just be mindlessly eating shit because you're stuffing down and you're distracting your feelings and your emotions that are going unwitnessed and unheard and unhonored. If you want to be epic space holders and support your clients to be having the most transformational healing possibility ever, we've got to look about what we're putting in our mouths. Now, I'm not here to say people have to be perfect, and I'm not perfect, but I have the intention to always up level. I have the intention to question my choices. Is this a fearful thought or a loving thought? Am I putting this in my body, this piece of chocolate, because I'm going to really enjoy it and because I'm worthy of it and I'm going to savor the taste and I'm really going to enjoy it? Or am I just shoving it in my mouth blindly because I'm feeling a bit shit about something? Like it's no longer it's no longer okay to just be blindly doing all these things. It's really not. Like, if we want to conquer the fear on the planet today, we have to be committed to these processes, these ongoing processes of ascension. So if anyone's on, I can't see the comments. These Facebook Lives are really strange at the moment. If you're watching the replay, please put #replay, come on, answer questions, make comments, tell me where you're at with your purification process. How committed are you, and how often are you thinking about bringing purification into your life, onto your to-do list, and into your daily practices? It doesn't have to be big, like just decluttering your desk, decluttering a corner in your room, going into the pantry and having a look what's in there. Does the food in there serve a higher purpose? Have a looking in the fridge, looking in the garden, looking in your wardrobe. Do the clothes that you have make you feel amazing and aligned? And do you adorn yourself with pieces of clothing and jewelry that are going to make you feel happier, more joy, more connected, more powerful? You know, it's really, it's not a difficult thing to just simply bring it into your intention. Yeah. So detoxing, you know, on a larger scale is also, well, it is for me. It is my most devotional practice that I do 3 or 4 times a year, and it is the fastest way that I get to connect with divine source, with divine wisdom, because I've literally ripped off the veil. I've ripped off the toxic load, and here I am, incredibly pure, incredibly pure. And this is the most high that I've ever got, really, is post-detox, a natural high, the natural production of oxytocin. The stress response has turned off, the toxic load has left the body, and my physical toxins have a direct relationship to my mental toxins. The thing that I notice the most when I detoxify is like the negative thoughts just leave the building. It's like I couldn't even try to have a fearful negative thought even if I tried. So, you know, we don't have to spend hours and years processing and meditating and tapping and removing trauma from our body when you can detox in 7 days and the negative thoughts have freaking left the building. The sun is shining on a permanent basis. The negative thoughts are the things that come and go. They're not the reality. They're not the truth of who you are. They come and go with the toxic load. So when you detoxify, bang, here we are in the light. Bang, here we are in the purity of who I am, the truth of who I am, the innocence of who I am, without my conditioning, without my trauma, without my stress response. So bringing regular detoxing into your life, whether you do it already, if you don't do it, I highly recommend jumping on a detox and discovering for yourself how freaking amazing that you feel. And detoxing just once isn't the be-all and answer to everything. Believe me, once you start detoxing, you realize that it becomes a regular practice in your life, 3 or 4 times a year. It's becoming one of the most potent quarterly planning business strategies that you can actually do. And I'm also recommending that people start thinking about launching your programs just post detox, because you will become more magnetic, you will become more purposeful. Your purpose, your vision, your mission just goes clarity, just hits the roof. Divine downloads, channeling. Like, I have birthed programs just post detox that have been out of this world. Literally not even mine. They have literally just been birthed through me from divine source, because my vessel is clear and I'm open and willing and able to receive and to give that wisdom. So thinking about bringing in a detoxification process into your life on a regular basis is one of the most profound spiritual devotional practices that you can do as a space holder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link to my free detox ebook in the comments underneath. Let me just check. I can't see if there's any comments there. And have a read of that, because it really explains the nature of addiction and how detoxing can support you to clear toxic energy, toxic load, so that you can raise your consciousness. Over in Purify, my paid program, we are starting a detox preparation this Monday, and the actual detox starts on Saturday the 28th. People can sort of, you know, give or take a couple of days if you've got things on. But you know, the process is kicking off over there in the other group. So if you have been in Purify before, it used to be called the Space Holder Sanctuary, but I've changed up the names, and you would like to detox again, please reach out to me, because anyone repeating the process gets a heavily discounted repeat bonus and price. If you haven't detoxed before, I have an early bird price, which is 20% off, you know, all options. There's payment plans, there's annual subscriptions, there's one-off detoxes. Please comment below and I can send you all the details to that, because jumping into the detox program with a group of women, with a group of other space holders and the accountability that you get, the hand holding that you get, the information that you get in the back end of that program is mind-blowing. There is so much in there to get you through this process. So with the purification process, the hangover comes first, a little bit of a headache, maybe a little bit grumpy, and the high comes second, and you get to be on the high for as long as you freaking want. It's absolutely incredible. So if you're serious about increasing the potency of your medicine, if you're serious about becoming a light worker in, you know, on the planet at the moment and shining your light out, if you're clear and intentional about increasing your business and your wealth potential, because women with money, and there's men in here as well, men with money, women with money, heart-centered men and women with money are going to change the world. So we want to purify, we want to expand, we want to raise our consciousness, we want to increase our spiritual integrity, we want to increase our connection to divine source. The channeling that will come through is next level, so that you can have a greater impact for yourself, for your family, and for your clients. No brainer, really. All right, my loves, I'm going to jump off today. Happy Purification Thursday. Let me know how you're going. What are your purification practices? And if you would like any info about the Purify Detox coming up next week, send me a message. Have a beautiful day. Oh my gosh, also tomorrow, we have our opening ceremony for the Space Holder Sanctuary. There's like 100 people in here. It's so exciting. We're going to have the most divine acknowledgement of country by one of my spiritual companioning practitioners in training, Kerry Scott. She is an incredible earth connector mama. She is like the most amazing, beautiful, pure soul. She has deep reverence for earth. She has a deep connection with our indigenous culture and heritage. And she will be doing a very sacred acknowledgement to country. I highly recommend that you join us. It will be a beautiful vibrational activation for all of you. And we have the incredible Kerry Scott and Carleen Pass that will be offering a free spiritual companioning session to someone who turns up live. So if you haven't and you are interested in experiencing what spiritual companioning feels like to be held in such pure reverence and unconditional love, I highly suggest and recommend and invite you to turn up live tomorrow, 10 o'clock Australian Western Standard Time, 12 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. It's not going to go for long, like 20 minutes out of your day to have a beautiful acknowledgement and connection activation to country. Please join us. See you then.